Good evening. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. I wanted to quickly go over the strategy today and discuss CPI real quick. Just something quite interesting here. So today, as you can see, if I turn this off to make it a little easier, we had a pretty decent gap up overnight, and what even intrigues me more is this huge green candle came right at 8:30 when CPI was released. We had brutal release of CPI numbers. Consumer price index for all urban consumers, that's the entire goods basket. It rose 1.2% in a month. So in the month of March, the goods of everything basically rose 1.2%, 8.5% over the last 12 months. That is a staggering number. I do not know how the Fed can possibly rein in 8.5% inflation. They, with their little piddly 0.25, 0.5 raises, right? Like, okay, 1.2. Well, 0.25%, close enough. That was just March, just to take the 0.2. You know what I mean? It is raising at a staggering exponential pace, and there's nothing they can really do about it, because if they start raising rates like crazy, they know that this whole house of cards is collapsing, right? The debt is insane that they have, and they have to service that debt. Well, maybe, I don't know. Do they? They keep printing money as if they don't, but theoretically that debt has to be serviced, and the more that the Fed raises interest rates, and Bank of Canada, kind of interchangeable, the more money that they have to spend to service that debt. So everyone is kind of stuck there. In Canada specifically, if they start raising rates like crazy, to start to combat this, there's going to be a lot of people that are going homeless and a lot of houses for sale. And as you all know, our country is basically built on the house of cards that is called housing. And if that starts to drop, our economy is absolutely fucked. So I pulled up the CPI, the basket weighting goods, just as an interesting little thing. Last year, right here. So CPI is released by the government, obviously, 8.5%. I don't necessarily believe that number, right? This is a very easily manipulated number. For instance, in 2019, home entertainment equipment parts and service, that includes TVs, they weighted at 0.4%. This is 2020. In 2021, they weighted it at 1.07%. And if you think about it, TVs have only come down in cost, right? Like before, a plasma TV used to cost you whatever, $5,000. It's like, sure, you can go buy the 85-inch OLED, whatever, but on the grand scale of things, TVs, technology, all of that has come down in price. And so, okay, well, if it comes down in price, they can now weight this heavier to make up for the fact that, yeah, food is going up, right? They can take a couple percentage off the food and move it down to TVs because they know that TVs have gotten cheaper, right? And another thing, like for instance, okay, so this is a total basket. What they're considering that Canadians, like the percentage of in their life, in a way, right? Not exactly, but kind of. So gasoline, 2.84, right? We come down here, tobacco products and smoker supplies and cigarettes. So in my opinion, you basically lump those two together, right? 1.37 and 1.27, so 2.64, I guess. I don't know, six something. Can't do the math while I'm trying to talk, but so they're telling me that, okay, both these categories combined are equal in Canadian spending habits of gasoline. I don't think so, right? So all I'm trying to say with that is it can be heavily manipulated to make the numbers look good. And 8.5%, realistically, I don't really believe that. I think it's higher than that. If you look at the price of housing, gas, food, everything that's actually essential, right? It's gone up way more than 8.5% over this last year. So just something to keep in mind. So those numbers get released, and this is what I wanted to talk about. The fact that we had a huge green bar, it just shows, like what I was talking about a couple days ago, about how you cannot come into the market biased, right? You play what the charts give you and trade like a friggin' algo, right? You're a robot. Because if you were to read that number, okay, yeah, rose 8.5%, that is the worst in 40 years. You would think the market would tank on that, right? Tank. Thinking like, okay, well, everything's getting more expensive. Consumers are definitely not buying shares of Amazon, right? Like, no, you got to spend money on. I need to put food on the table. You know what I mean? So you would think that the market would tank, but how many shorts got trapped, right? There was rumors of the inflation number being bad, right? And sure enough, yeah, we had a little bit of come down, And how many shorts got in on this candle thinking, oh yeah, tomorrow inflation numbers are going to be bad and we're going to tank? Yeah, no, market stole your money, sorry, Anyway, so I wanted to discuss the strategy, of course. I already had my 15 minutes charted out. Beauty day, right? 1, 2, 3. So high, and then we hit our low on the breakout of our high, opening range breakout, ORB. Sure enough, we took it 10%. Boom, easy. So everyone have a great night. Talk to you next time.